Hey everyone who is watching this live stream. I'm currently sharing my iPad screen from my iPad of the Flaming Star Nebula. I probably only have maybe an hour of this before it disappears in the clouds in a pretty bad area, but so far I have 6 minutes of it, and it looks okay. I'm gonna give this another few minutes, and then we'll test out the AI denoising feature. I already tested it out just to see what it looks like. It's interesting, and we'll take a look and see. I can play with the brightness a little bit, make it look a little bit better in the live view. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you. I'm waiting for it to get to around 10 minutes, and then I'll turn on the AI denoising. I already know how it works a little bit, but Just want a little bit more data because I only tested it with about 2 minutes of data, so we'll see. Alright, have 11 minutes of data, so I'm going to try out the AI denoising, which is here. So I click on that, and it is denoising the JPEG that we were previewing. So it's not actually doing anything to the live view that we're seeing. Hey Panda, welcome. Just denoising now, testing that out for the first time, and if it loads. Oh, there we go. Oh wow, this actually looks pretty decent. You can see structures. This is the Flaming Star Nebula. Lots of nebulosity. The stars look good. I can tell you that the denoising, since it's just a toggle, we can only turn it on or off and not control how much is denoised. It is extremely smooth. It's way smoother than I make my own images, but like looking around, it looks fine. And then we can click on this little comp button on top and you can see before. So this is our live view that we were looking at, and then after with denoising. So it's actually really good. It actually does a little bit of like background correction as well, I think. Interesting. Can you do the denoising on other formats? Do you mean like on the FITS format? It's the FITS file is a raw file, so I don't think we have that option. But yeah, like it's actually pretty impressive, like what it does here. I would like to test this out with other denoising tools at some point, like Graxpert or something. But yeah, in the Seestar, when we're picking our images, we don't really have a say in which of the formats we're picking, whether it's the FITS or the JPEG. So I think it's just doing stuff maybe to the FITS and then re-outputting it as JPEG. I don't know what's happening on the inside of this thing, but cool. This is only a 10-minute of Flaming Star Nebula. I like it. Is there a share button? Download. Trying to see what I can do. Export. Nope. Alright, I'll do download. Image saved, okay. We're going back. Alright, so this is our look at the nebula without denoising. So we can't look at it live here, which is interesting. So I'm going to let this keep going, and then I'll go to my album, and I'll show you what I mean. So if I go to the Seestar here, look at my files. So like for example, if I click on my Solar Nebula image here, once it loads, so we're looking at whatever format this is. This is probably just the FITS format being shown here, but we have now this on the top right hand side. We have the AI denoising little magic wand here, so we can control the AI we can do the denoising after the stack has been completed, which is cool. And I wonder if it'll let me control how much denoising we do. So let's see once it loads. I might be impatient, but that felt like more than 15 seconds. And it takes a little while longer to load because my Seestar is outside my backyard, about like 80 feet away. So it's sending data over my Wi-Fi. So it takes usually faster. It's usually faster than this, but there you go. Interesting. So yeah, actually the Solar Nebula looks much better. And you can compare. I can't control the levels, unfortunately. Compare. All right. There we go. So before and after. Before and after. The bottom corner here looks interesting, like before and after. Like this looks darker. After and then before. Yeah, I guess it's just all noise. Let me zoom in. It's working really well. Zoom into the head. Wow. Friggin' AI, man. Yeah, I'm just checking to see maybe like does it introduce anything? Does it get rid of stars? It also looks like it's also like sharpening the stars. Like if you look at the middle 4 stars here, like this, it's like barely visible, and then now you can see them. Wow. I don't think there's any kind of deconvolution happening, but it looks really nice. Okay, and if I go back. Yep, interesting. Okay. Let's go back to our flaming star nebula. And another cool update is that now the joystick, the little toggle thing in the center of the screen disappeared, and now it's the toggle on the right hand side, right over here. But I can't use it while I am live stacking, so I am waiting for the image to come back. It's another byproduct of having this outside, far away from my router, but I should be seeing something. Come on, Seestar. Future. Yeah, I forget how he says that. I do love SpongeBob, but it's been a while since I've watched any of it. go. So I was waiting for this little bar here on the enhancing to move. It looked like it was stuck. So now hopefully it's coming back very slowly. I think the Seestar, getting star trails, interesting. I think the Seestar's Wi-Fi works more slowly when it's colder. So we've had one stack fail. Let's see if any more fail. Oh yeah, I have YouTube TV, so I have pretty much every SpongeBob episode recorded. I recorded it. I said record on the show because I was planning on watching all of it, and I never have gotten to it. Remember that overprocessed moon that you took? Did you manage to make it look better? I never edited it outside of the Seestar, but I did send that message out to ZWO. Their developers are aware that the S30 is over sharpening the moon, and they are working on a fix. I just don't know when that'll happen, but I was assured that they are working on it. So we'll see. Yeah, the next time we image the moon is probably going to be another at least 2 weeks, because now we're in the third quarter phase, heading into new moon, and then first quarter phase is usually a good time to image the moon. So we'll see. I will edit the raw images of the moon at some point, and then I'll post my results. All right, no more star trails. Looks like it's stacking now. It's gone up. Hey Beverly, sorry I haven't been speaking for the last couple of minutes. No, but I told him that I didn't get a chance to process the moon images, and that I spoke with ZWO and they are working on fixing the over sharpening problem. So hopefully they'll get that done soon, maybe before next quarter moon, but we'll see. And I'm actually gonna step outside for a couple of minutes and see if Orion is in view, because then we can take a look at that. So I'm looking at Stellarium, and we are currently looking at the Flaming Star Nebula here, and it's going to go behind a tree. There's like a tree right here for me, and I'm going to go see if Orion is visible. I have maybe 40 minutes of Orion visible at any point, so I'm going to go check it out. Be right back. I am back. Orion. We probably have like maybe 20 minutes of Orion left, maybe less. So let's actually find it. Uranus, Pleiades, Betelgeuse, hello Orion. Let's try it. Switch. It's going to go behind a tree. There's a branch that I'm trying to have cut down over the winter, so I'll have longer view of that part of the sky. Well, it sounds like you need to get a second blanket. Yeah, I know the feeling. My dog used to do that too, and now my cat does that. So, and we have maybe 20 blankets around the house, and we still need more. I no, I didn't stack the photo of the moon outside of the Seestar. No, but I just spoke with ZWO that they will be working on fixing the automatic sharpening on the moon. So I'm hoping they do that soon. But let's see how this does. It's still, for some reason, still searching for it. I think it's having trouble because it may be um, running into the tree. So I may switch to the Rosette Nebula or something. But if we have time, maybe I'll do a quick stack and process here. Or that might actually be a better topic for another stream or another video. We had a pit mix. She was a rescue dog. She unfortunately passed away back in July. But yeah, she was a pretty big dog. At her heaviest, she was 85 pounds, I think. Big dog, but she thought she was sometimes a lap dog. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll find a picture of my dog too, and I'll put it there. And I'm going to stop this from finding M42. I think it's not going to be able to do it because it's probably too close to the tree line, which sucks. But let me see. Rosette is here. There we go. Rosette. Okay, let's try Rosette. No mosaic. You can see the blue moving. Thanks, Beverly. Yeah, she was a good dog. I'll post a picture later. Actually, while this is finding it, I'll post a picture right now in Discord. So everyone else who is watching this and aren't seeing pictures of dogs, head to our Discord server. There's a link in the description, but I'll also post it in the chat. There we go. So we are taking a picture of the Rosette Nebula, and I can already see like some nebulosity here, which is cool. Yeah, Rosette is pretty cool. So we'll see. I'm just going to reset the brightness and yep, cool. And we'll let this go for a little while, and then I'll do the AI denoising and see how that looks. Yeah, the structure of Rosette is already coming out with just a 50-second exposure, which is pretty cool. Yeah, and this is actually over the north or the eastern part of the sky, and so this is over like Boston city lights. So like Boston is directly under this. So like stuff like this and the Orion Nebula are always impressive. It helps that this is a narrowband object. I have the narrowband filter on here, so it's using just HA and O3, but it looks pretty good. And I think once it gets to maybe 5 minutes, I'll do an AI denoise and see how much if it looks any better, and then again at 10 minutes. Cloudy nights. Yeah, the filters. Yeah, you just need somebody to post some cheap visual O3 filters. Um, they go on sale quite often. You can actually subscribe to the different categories. So like filters, and on the top right, it's like follow this category. So they'll send you an email as soon as somebody posts anything. That's one good way to stay ahead of other people and find a product that's listed right away. I do that all the time when I need something new. Yeah, I do that too sometimes. Another tip I can give you is Facebook Marketplace. There are a lot of people like locally who sell their stuff for cheap because they either don't want to hold on to it or they bought something and they have no idea how to use it and they just post it online. I have benefited more than once from somebody posting really nice gear for like half the price, and mostly because they just want to get rid of it. Sometimes the Goodwill stores and online, they have really nice telescope parts and telescopes too. With those ones, you have to like search yourself. I don't think there's a way to set a notification for hey, send me new telescopes. All right, that was 20 seconds. Yeah, the one thing about Facebook Marketplace is that you have to go and check it out yourself. Um, Never pay ahead of time. But I got my 100 millimeter Orion Acromat years ago for I think 150 bucks. And the guy, he got it for free from someone. He didn't know how to use it. He listed it for 150 bucks along with a nice mount and a bunch of accessories. And I've seen Dobbs for like 100 bucks, and yeah, they can be sketchy, but you have to go check it out yourself. Yeah, the shipping in Canada is yeah. The U.S. is lucky with a lot of stuff for now. We'll see what happens. Oh yeah, so this finished, and yeah, like the structure is like, this is just 5 minutes of integration. It looks really nice. The stars look good. We can take a look at before and after. So yeah, wow, I'm just like looking at the stars and the star shapes. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be like adding anything, removing anything. This is like working like magic. My God. Wow. Okay, cool. This is definitely super impressive. I wish I had like a slider where I can do like 70% denoising, because I do like a little bit of grain. Makes it look a little bit more realistic, because right now it's just like completely smoothed out. Yes, it looks like that orange star in the middle also. No, never mind. I'm just seeing things. Yeah, it's super interesting. Yeah, definitely bring your husband with you. Um, it's or definitely meet in a public place during the day. That's what I usually do. Wow, the denoising is yeah. I'll stop inspecting this. But this is really impressive for just 5 minutes of AI denoising. So I'll save this. Yeah, this is the Rosette Nebula. There's a lot more to this complex here. It like goes off to the side, like this way, but need a giant mosaic to do this. But yeah, I'm super impressed with this. There we go. Very cool. Another feature they recently introduced is if I go to my settings under advanced, under calibrate, I can now redo the dark frames again, which is interesting, which is cool. I guess that's what the dark filter is in there. Couldn't do this before. Stack failed. Okay, let me go back and see what's happening. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, a bunch of police stations around here are the same. They're public meetup places. I think also City Hall has that. Okay, so that looks fine. Okay, let's see. Wait, where do you see a tree? This thing? Oh, sorry, I wasn't. I was talking and I was muted. But yeah, it's the same tree that we saw in the different images. I have somebody coming in a couple of weeks to trim that tree because it needs it. Satellite, yeah, that's the satellite. It was in mosaic mode, so it didn't. The Seestar algorithm, the rejection algorithm, doesn't get rid of. Um, yeah, this is a satellite. It looks like it's coming straight out of the corner from the center, but it's really not. But it is interestingly stacked. Mosaic mode has a hard time getting rid of satellite trails. But we can do that in post processing. Alrighty, starting a poll. Let's see how many we can do before I have to log off in. Probably gonna log off at midnight because I have work tomorrow. Sunday night streams aren't ideal, but I couldn't do it last night because of clouds. Yep, that's how the stream went last week too. But I'll include some other nebulae that we haven't looked at. Hey, what did you miss? We were looking at Flaming Star Nebula early on. I tested out the AI denoising feature, which I'll actually do again in a minute here. And now we're looking at Rosette Nebula. I tried for Orion, failed because it's behind a tree. And I think that's it. I don't know. What keg? I don't have a keg. Alright, we're at 13 minutes, and I'm going to do AI denoising again and see what it looks like. So I noticed that this takes about 20 seconds, not 15 seconds, but it does say about 15, so I'll let the Seestar have that one. And after this, we can keep going on the Rosette, or I can actually switch to the Christmas tree cluster. I think it may be in a pretty nice location now. So maybe I will do that, since my goal tonight wasn't to really stay on one object for the whole night. But oh man, this looks great. You can compare it before and after. Yeah, it's like so much more detail with the denoising. Again, I wish we were able to control just how much denoising there is, but we can't. But I'm honestly really impressed with this. This is a star party. Um, the keg is somewhere. I don't think we can see it. This is the keg. What am I talking about? The Rosette Nebula is the keg. You just have to go to it and grab it. And I'm just going around looking at the different structures here. This is like the dark nebula part. This is the dense cloud here. Wow, this is cool. I like it. I mean, I wish I had control, but that's this is all we get, and it's really impressive. Yeah, it does seem to also do some kind of like background extraction, because like on top we can see the uh, the background also changes a little bit. Throw the double cluster. Oh, NGC 869886 again? Sure. I can do that too. That one is visible also later in the night. So, how about I do um, the Christmas tree cluster for a few minutes, and then we'll go over to the Christmas tree cluster cone nebula, and then we'll go over to the double cluster. So let's see. Go to switch. Alrighty, so now we're off shooting the cone nebula. We'll see how long it takes before we start to see detail on the Rosette Nebula. At about 50 seconds, we saw a really nice outline of the nebula, so we'll see with this one. Sorry, just seeing your question, Beverly. Could you not use the denoising and process yourself? Yeah, so I can take the individual images out and then do my own thing, which I'll be working on this week. So I probably wouldn't even use Seestar's built-in denoising. I'll probably take the images and then compare them later, but I'm definitely going to process these myself. Thanks, Beverly. That's funny, Panda. Yeah, no, I like these star parties too. I'm really enjoying the Sea Star because it's outside. I'm inside with heat, and the Sea Star takes literally 2 minutes to set up. I have done a lot of these with my regular setup, but that takes maybe half an hour to 45 minutes to put everything together, to do a polar alignment, do focusing, and then get going. The Sea Star is just super easy. It's it may be making me a little bit lazier. All right, I think we can see some structure here. Like this is a little over a minute. We can see some of the nebulosity here. It's definitely not as bright as uh, the Rosette Nebula, but we'll see. We'll give this a few more minutes. Hey Tony, yeah, cool. Yeah, let me know how that goes. And I was showing the other folks here that you can do denoising after the fact, so I can show you what Orion may look like for you. I have Orion here somewhere. M42. Right, this is from last week. So yeah, we have lots of noise here, and we have the denoising option on the top right hand side here. So I'll click on that, and it'll process for me, which is that part I find cool that I can do it after the fact. Yeah, I agree with you, Beverly. The automated isn't that great, not yet, but it's great for like star parties. I'm hoping to take this to a star party in 2 weeks if the weather complies. Oh yeah, look at that. All right, this is the M42 denoised, and there's like no. It got smoothed out. I do wish I had control over how much denoising that happens, but and we can do a comparison of before and after. So I think there's also some background extraction that happens. So you can see the background kind of neutralizes a little bit. Yeah, and there seems to be like some nebulosity like up here too. It's a little hard to see on the video, but on my iPad screen it looks really good. There's some glow here, but yeah, this is before and after. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I wish I had I wish that branch was already gone so I could look at Orion now, but I can't. And this is a Running Man Nebula. Before I can see more of the shadow, after kind of disappears. But yeah, no, this looks great. So I'll save that too, and then I'll compare these later. Are you using the S30 or S50 right now? I'm using the S30 right now. The S30. Oops. Let's go back to stargazing. All right, 3 minutes of the Cone Nebula. Let's see what that looks like once the enhancing completes. I will get all the enhanced images out of this iPad at some point, and then post it in the Discord server. Oh yeah, we can see some structure of the Cone Nebula, but it's definitely not as impressive as the Rosette Nebula. I'll let this go up to 5 minutes, and then I'll do AI denoising because since it does a background extraction, it might, or I think it does a background extraction, it might make this pop a little bit more. So minute and a half. And then maybe we'll let this go for 15 minutes, and then I'll point it to the double stars, the double cluster for Panda. showing the same targets before and after the denoising, or like if I process them myself and the ZWO denoising. Oh yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. I wonder if they can do that. It probably will take a lot more computing time to do the denoising, but I'm sure maybe if you even if you set it to like like update the denoising panel like on the right side every minute, while the live preview gets updated every 10 seconds or whatever. Oh yeah, this did 5.5 minutes, but so let's do a denoising. And yeah, like while this is happening, I'll say that I did think that the denoising happened in real time, but I guess I read the update notes incorrectly. It's just you click a button, it denoises for you, and then you go back to the live view, which has noise. All right, let's see what that looks like. All right, there's a yeah. The Cone Nebula isn't very impressive. You need a lot of data for the Cone Nebula, but you can kind of see like the head here. It's like this middle, and this whole complex is called the Christmas tree cluster, the Christmas tree nebula. So this is with denoising. This is before. Definitely looks better after denoising. There's a lot of nebulosity in this region, but definitely not as impressive as the Rosette Nebula. Oh, are you just talking about like just showing? Maybe I'm not understanding you. A stack failed. Got it. Cool. Like this. Oh, I usually don't like the footer. Okay. Like I can do this. Take a screenshot, and then let's go back. And something like this. Is it brightness? Kind of. Yeah, it's like yeah. This area is much dimmer than the Rosette or Orion. So yeah, it's just we're just trying to catch all those photons that are coming through. We're less of it makes it to our cameras and our eyes than the other objects, just because of how far it is. How this is much more diffuse than the other nebulae. And the stacks are failing, so I think maybe this is hitting a tree. A tree meaning the same tree. Let me see, let me look at my subs. If it loads. No. I don't know. I've gotten a bunch of failures here, so I'm not sure. Oh, you meant the S50 and the S30. Sorry, I totally misunderstood. Yeah, I actually tried that last week. So I had both S50 and S30 out, but connecting to switching between them is a little bit difficult. Like I have to actually get close to it and then switch my Wi-Fi to the other Seestar in order to connect to it, and then connect to my local network. It just became I did a test run of it. It just became really difficult to switch back and forth. So I ended up just doing the S30. So in order to do what you're asking, I would need a second device. Normally I'd use my phone, but it's hard to stream from my phone because I end up using it quite a bit while I'm live streaming. So I just need to get my hands on like another iPad or something, and then I can definitely do that. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, could be clouds, wind. Yeah, actually, I think you're right about the wind. It is very windy tonight. Let's see what the wind is. The seeing conditions are poor because of the wind. Um, yeah, it's 11 miles an hour, so about 20 kilometers per hour right now. So it's pretty windy, and we get quite a bit of gust. So you're probably right that something is shaking the telescope. Hopefully, we don't get a gust strong enough to blow it over. I think you're right about the wind. I don't. I need to pay better attention to when I'm muting and unmuting myself. Yeah, it's very windy. It's 11 miles an hour wind, about 20 kilometers an hour. Not 20, 17 kilometers an hour. And once I hit 10 minutes, I'm going to do another AI denoising, and then I'll switch over to the double cluster in Cassiopeia. And I'm going to close that poll because the Rosette Nebula won. And let's see, I'll start a new one. Alrighty, let's see if the recency bias holds. Yeah, that's true. It is tiny. Yeah, it is making me nervous. Maybe I should go tie it down outside. I also don't want to try it. All right, so we have 10 minutes of the Cone Nebula. It's definitely not as impressive as Rosette, so I'm just going to do a quick denoising, see what it looks like, and then we'll switch over to the double cluster in Cassiopeia. Alright, so this is what it looks like. So we can do before and after. I mean, it definitely looks better after, but there's just not enough data here. I probably need like 2 hours of data in order to make it look like anything. And I'm actually going to pull up the Cone Nebula to show you what it looks like. Let's see. I actually have a picture that I processed for a friend. Cave Nebula. That's the Cave Nebula. Never mind. Yeah, so if you just look up Cone Nebula in Google, you'll see all these pictures. Some are really cool, like this one. This definitely does not look like that. You know, it's going downwards here. This thing here. Zoom in. But you know, kinda. Yeah, I need a lot more data on this one. So, okay, cool. So I am going to leave this, and we're going to go to NGC 869 for Panda to enjoy with his Jaeger and milk. Let me see. 869. There we go. I think that's good. Switch. Thanks, Panda. It's definitely it's pretty far off. Thanks, Project Electric Eye. I appreciate it. I enjoyed doing these too. Before 2024, I think I've only done like one or two, but I really started enjoying these. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I still do outreach with my astronomy club, sometimes my own. Doing another one in a couple of weeks. It's at an elementary or middle school, I think, and I'm told that there could be upwards of 600 people there. So we'll see how that goes. The Seestar S30 is coming with me, along with the 6-inch SCT, to look at Jupiter and Saturn, and maybe the Moon. Yeah, the technology has definitely made it a lot easier. Like when I first started doing outreach, I would travel, put all the stuff in my car, and go traveling. Oh, look, this looks pretty cool. This is just a preview. This is just a half-second preview, and we can see this cluster. This cluster is also really good to look at through a telescope, by the way. Very cool. Yeah, the clubs should do that. It's really nice for them and for anyone looking. My club does a ton of star parties. Like I can't keep up with them. But we also have hundreds of members, which helps. Oh, that's really cool. That's super cool. We should do that too. We do a lot of the stuff that we do are around the community centers and schools. Haven't I don't think we've done any in near or at nursing homes. I should suggest that. Thank you. Where are you from, Project Electric Eye, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, nice, Panda. Yeah, the first time I saw this through a telescope, I went hunting for it, just because I saw somebody's picture on the internet. And even if there's no astronomy club near you, you have one right here. Feel free to. You are a part of this astronomy club, and we are global. If you have a Discord, join there. We have good conversations there. I'll repost the link in the description or in the comment. Indiana. Let me see if I can find one. Sky and Telescope has a list of clubs on their website. I agree with Panda. Oh yeah, yeah. Single area view of the sky is pretty difficult for Go to. Not impossible, but really difficult. Ah, yeah. University should let the public join. I think the universities around here they don't really have clubs, but they have public nights. Like anyone can just go and check out what they're doing. JPL maintains a list too. That's cool. I don't think I knew about that. That's nice. I gotta check it out. Thanks, Beverly. Yeah, Mastodon is cool. I post there every once in a while. I'm not as active on there anymore because the engagement is pretty low. Looks like Indiana has a lot of planetariums. I'll post the link in the description in the chat, so you can check it out. Yeah, so I'm there now, and I can see a lot of yeah, but a lot of these are planetariums. Lots of universities. There's the Evansville Astronomical Society. I don't know how far that is from you. That seems to be an actual astronomy club. Calumet Astronomical Society is another one. Yeah, I try to. Yeah, I've been pretty active on Blue Sky the last few weeks. I joined there when they were still doing invites, and then Threads is another one. I'm there too, but there's not a lot of engagement there, so I don't post there as much. Threads is, since it's owned by Facebook, they push a lot of stuff I don't really care about. Blue Sky is definitely much better. Oh no, I'm sorry, Panda. Abandoned observatory. Can you like go put your name on it? I started using Threads because I was posting about the eclipse, and then the official Threads account started following me, and then uh, reposting what I was posting. Um, so that was interesting. It was all happening during the eclipse. All right, so I have 5.5 minutes of this. Let's do AI denoising on the stars and see what that looks like. You don't have to do the denoise in the deep sky stack. It's Seestar outputs its live stack somewhere. If you just go there, you should see the denoising wand on the top right. But you should be able to do it in the deep sky stack as well, but you don't need to. Oh, look at that. So this is NGC 869 and 886 with denoising. So before and after. Wow. It does make the stars pop so much more. Wow, like this star here, like this one here, it's like appearing, like couldn't really even see it before. Kind of, but yeah, super interesting, super cool. Like on the S50, we'd be able to separate these stars here. On the S30, it's just the focal length and the aperture just a little bit too small. Actually, like when before denoising, there's kind of a little bit of separation here. You can kind of see it, but after denoising, it kind of attaches. Interesting. Yeah, like on this one here too. Yeah, it's like the denoising is attaching some of these stars. Yeah, this one here too. Like before, I can see they're separate stars, but now it's like a peanut. Interesting. Yeah, this is why I wish that we can control the denoising, because I think if we set this to like 50%, this would look much better, and maybe the stars wouldn't coagulate or curdle. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the suggestion. If anyone else has any other object suggestions, let me know. I do have a limited view of the sky, so let me see what else I can go to. We'll keep it on this one for now. Flaming star. We could look at Mars and the Beehive cluster. It might be high enough. How close they're pretty close. We could probably look up exactly how close they are, but since it is a star cluster, they are, I don't know, maybe like half a light year of each other, which is fairly close. Still pretty far. Some of these are probably binary systems, so they're probably even closer than that. I honestly don't know, but we can probably look it up. So while this happens, it's doing this. I'll find my next target. Let's see what Tony asked. What I was really asking was, how do you lock in the AI denoise? So you can't lock in the AI denoise in the live view for as far as I know. It's just when you click on the AI denoise, it just takes you to another screen where it shows you an output of the denoise, and then you can just save that file. So like I go to my album, so like these files, these are like denoised that I saved. So like it doesn't lock onto the live view. Yeah, I don't think there's a way to lock it in. So like the wand here is just a wand that takes you to another page. And I was looking up what to point to. Oh yeah, beehive cluster. Let's see. It's going to be M44. So we have beehive and we have Mars. Any votes on which to look at? It's NGC 7789. Which one is that one? Oh, Caroline's Rose Cluster. Is it in view? Yeah, my problem with some of these is that once they go to the other side of Polaris, they're hard to see. But actually, I think, actually, I'm going to listen to this. I'll point it to there. Oh, sorry, I lost it. Because it's in a good position probably for another half an hour before it goes away. So, okay, I accept 7789. Thanks, Dan Man. Okay, I'll let this find and I'll be right back. Alright, it's actually not going to find Caroline's rose cluster because it is it is behind my house. So it's in the wrong spot. Sorry, Dad Man. That was a good suggestion, but I'm going to have to go back to M44 or maybe even Mars. We can do Mars for like a minute. Gotta stop. Let's see. Mars. Sure. Locate position. Let's do Mars. Just for fun. We won't be able to see any detail. Just catching up to the chat. So Dan, might you asked how good are the smart telescopes at taking photos? They're actually really good. There are some limitations that the sensor is pretty tiny. Um, the sampling isn't really ideal, but it's good enough for most things. If you haven't watched my last couple of videos, I show examples of how it looks. Um, and also in our Discord server, I have pictures that you can see from the Seestar and then decide for yourself whether it's good for you. But for beginners, for someone who's just like looking to get into astrophotography, this is more than good enough. I wish we could see detail on Mars. Uh, that would be cool. We can't even see detail on Jupiter. So Mars is definitely not happening. Oh man, maybe Mars is behind a tree. It's just taking too long. Yeah, it is. It is just an orange dot. Let's see. It's actually at 10-second exposure. It's actually pretty bright. I might have to come back to Mars later. It's probably too low. I don't want to run back outside to look. It's very windy. Let's see if I can look at something else instead. Okay, we can look at a Medusa Nebula. See, that's pretty low. We're not going to be able to get anything. Obviously, I'm just browsing through Stellarium. Alright, sure. Alright, it's not going to work. Yeah, that tree. It's that same tree. It's a nice tree, but it's so annoying. Yeah, you can see the Galilean moons of Jupiter. Let's see. This was part of my last video, but this is what it looks like through the S30. This is Jupiter, and these are the Galilean moons. And you can imagine Mars looks tinier. All right, so right now I pointed it to another open cluster called NGC 2395. It is not as impressive as the last one, but you can kind of see here we have like a crescent shape here. This is part of a sharpless object called the Medusa Nebula, so we'll see how much integration we need to get that to pop a little bit. And in Stellarium, it looks like this. So this is what I'm hoping to get. Yeah, this is definitely a deep sky object thing, and the only solar system objects that I would say we can use this for are the moon, sun, and any nearby comets. Like this would be too small for comet Suchinshan Atlas that we all saw back in October. Oh look here, actually here's the crescent, not over there. I don't know what I was seeing, but it's kind of appearing. Cool. This is a minute. And this is the cluster. There we go. Yeah, and there's like a limit to like how deep you can go because of the aperture and focal length limits. So like stuff like this is pretty cool. But you can't see like very far away galaxies. But this should actually be really cool during galaxy season because we can see the Whirlpool Galaxy, the um, Pinwheel Galaxy, and a couple other galaxies in that region. Maybe the Draco Triplet will come back around. It's probably not until March. It's just some of my favorite objects to look at. By blaze star, do you mean T Coronae Borealis, that star that's supposed to go nova? Um, if so, no news. You know, the prediction was just any time from like last April to next April. So we'll see. But we only have 2 points of data, so it probably won't happen at all, most likely. But it'll probably happen once that region is in daylight, like when the sun's up, so we won't even see it. Yeah, things in space never do what you want them to do. Like I really want Betelgeuse to go into supernova. Like now would be good because then we'd be able to see it for months. Betelgeuse is your favorite star? Yeah. It's a really nice star to look at. Betelgeuse. Ah! Yeah, so we got 5 minutes. I'll do the AI denoising and see if it pops anymore. And then I'll let it go for another 5 minutes and try again. Yeah, it's definitely no Rosette Nebula, but still pretty cool that even at 5 minutes we can see some structure here. And this is my first time actually imaging the Medusa Nebula. Usually in a really bad spot in the sky for me. Oh yeah, look at that. That looks pretty cool. And then we have the star cluster here. But the Medusa Nebula looks pretty cool. Live stacking is the same as regular stacking. No. So live stacking is, as the images come in, there's software built in that will add it to the previous image. So it adds up over time. Regular stacking is, and you take the files, you put them into a software like PixInsight, and then you subtract your bias frames, your dark frames, your flat frames. You do like normalization on them. You do background extraction. It's different. Live stacking is easier, um, and you can get really great results. But regular stacking can give you even more detail. Yeah, it is just a little guy. So if you look at Stellarium, we can compare what it's supposed to look like. So look at that. It's pretty interesting. Put it here. There we go, side by side. It looks pretty nice. And then we can do before and after the denoising. Yeah, yeah, denoising is definitely magic. Again, I wish I had controls. Um, in this session, I don't think we're going to be able to see any of the like these detail here, like the bands here. We'll need a lot of data for this because it is mag almost 16, so it's pretty dim. That area, so but it's still pretty impressive what we can see from a tiny 30mm smart telescope. Okay. Yeah, regular stacking is a good idea. I usually stack all of my images anyway. I just haven't had time the last couple of weeks to process any of these because of the other work I've been doing. But if you can, you'll definitely get better results with regular stacking. No, you usually get less detail with live because you have less control over what's happening. Like the rejection algorithm is built in, especially in the Seestar, it's just built in. Like you don't have control over what's getting rejected. Like for example, if you do a mosaic, like we'll go back to my M31 shot. Like if we do a mosaic, the rejection algorithm doesn't like get rid of stuff like like the trees here, and doesn't get rid of like the satellite trails. But if you were to stack this normally, the stacking software would get rid of these, or like it'll like throw out these frames and get rid of the star trails pretty easily, and you can control exactly how much is rejected if any is rejected. Live stacking just doesn't let you do that. Yeah, on my to-do list is to make a video comparing the live stacked versus what comes out of the Seestar, or sorry, what comes out of the Seestar live stack versus what you can get from stacking normally. And I think actually I showed that in my S50 review a few months ago. Let me find that link for you. That video I am linking to now, like around the 619 mark, I start talking about live stack versus regular stack, and I give examples. That's out of the Seestar S50, so it'll give you an idea of what it looks like live stacked versus what you can get normally stacking. Alrighty. I'm back, and it looks like Orion Nebula 1, so I'm going to end that one. Let's start the new one. Yeah, I'm sure. I was just uh, trying to fight the recency bias. We haven't even seen Orion tonight. But yeah, Orion is super cool. But it might be a close one between Orion and Horset. I know lots of people like the Horset Nebula. We won't be able to look at it tonight because it is not in view, but I can show you a picture that I took of the Horset that um, appeared in an art show. Is this it? I just gotta find it. Nice. Yeah, you might be actually be able to see the Horsehead because it's a dark nebula. Like from dark enough skies, you can see a Horsehead, kind of. Um, if you look up the Ring Nebula and Dumbbell Nebula, you might be able to see those too. They are extremely bright, and they're really fun to look at. And the Horsehead Nebula. So this is a picture of the Horsehead Nebula from a few years ago that I took. It is brighter than I normally like making mine because this was actually printed. So I ended up making some of the stuff brighter, more vibrant because it so that it looks better on print. Otherwise, they just look dull on print. But Horsehead. And this is the Flame Nebula. And this nebula here is the reflection nebula called NGC 2024. And I memorized that because we're in the year 2024. Thank you. Yeah, it's one of my most favorite regions in the sky. Thank you, thank you. So I'll give this another few minutes and then I'll try Mars again. Mars should be visible now. Actually, while this is gone, I'm actually going to run outside really quick and take a look. Good night, Beverly. Thanks for stopping by. And I think in like 5 minutes, Mars will be visible, so I'll point it to that. And I'll probably end the stream around 12:30, so like another 40 minutes because I also have work in the morning. It's one of the bad things about streaming at on a Sunday night. Hey Gus, they are completely independent from each other. Yeah. So when I point this to Mars, I'll actually switch over to scenery mode, and I can show you what that looks like. I can do a live preview of that. And if you haven't watched any of my most recent videos on the S30, you can look for a demo in there too. I use the wide field camera in both of them. And the only thing about the wide field camera is that it's you can only use it in scenery mode or planetary mode. You can't use it in wide field views like this. At least not yet. I think Seestar is working on, or ZWO is working on, a way to use that for Milky Way, maybe star trails. Just not yet. Yeah, it is a short week in the U.S., so but it feels like we have to squeeze in 5 days of work in 3 days, which is always fun. And I'm going to 15 minutes, so I'm going to do another AID noise and see what that looks like. Oh yeah, that looks really nice. Yeah, just to compare this with what we see in Stellarium. There we go. Wow, like we can see some of the hair of the Medusa Nebula as well. I don't know if it translates well in the stream, but it looks pretty nice. And this is before and this is after. So yeah, like before the noise reduction, it's not much detail, and after there is so much. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. So I'll save this. Yeah, I asked them about using the wide field as a guide scope. It currently uses it to as like a go-to in wide field, but it would be cool to use as a guide scope and definitely for longer exposures. But maybe that's the plan. They won't tell me anything, obviously, but I will try and get them to tell me as much as they can. They did give me a heads up on the AI noise reduction by like 4 days, so we'll see. That's right. Don't look directly at it. But this is cool. Okay, so alrighty. So now I'll actually point this to Mars and see what that looks like. I'll definitely have to get more integration time on this. This looks really really nice, and of course we have the star cluster up there as well. As soon as this thing loads, NGC 2395 and SH2 174. Okay, so zoom out and we're going to go to Mars, which is right here. Oops. And we have M44 here, so unfortunately the view is too small. I can fit it with a mosaic, but I don't want to do that. It's going to take too long, so reset. So Mars, and then we'll take a couple of pictures. We'll switch it to planetary mode just to see the wide field camera look at it, and then we can find another object before I end the stream. So I'll try and find something. If anyone has any suggestions on objects in the northeast part of the sky right now. Oh, nice, congrats. Yeah, the S30 is really cool. I like it a lot. I also like the S50. And I would really like to see like an S100 or something some point. Mars. Where are you? Oh, it's this thing. I don't know why it's not centered. Oh, because I didn't center it. Okay. This is doing a 10-second long exposure, which is way too much for a planet. There's Mars. It is super bright, super orange. I'll let it stack 30 seconds worth of images, and then I'll stop it. And then we'll switch over to planetary mode. It's not stacking. I think it's having... Oh, no, it is stacking. Wow. Yeah, this is definitely not a planetary scope. Okay, so I'm going to stop it. I know, it's so bright. You can see like the halo around the glow of Mars too. And it's going to get brighter for another 2 months. Okay, so, whoops, didn't do that. Seestar. Get this. Okay, so we go to solar system, and then we have Mars. We go gazing. It's going to find Mars, and on the top left-hand side, we have the wide field camera. Right over here. Can't really see it now because there's nothing there, but look, it's coming up, and then we'll see Mars in there, and then I can use it to center Mars, and then switch to the wider field. The sensor orientation is a little bit different, so the smaller wide-angle lens has a landscape mode, and this is in not landscape mode. So if I click on the wide field camera, I can see it. So this is what the wide field looks like. I can zoom in. I can take photos of this. It does take time lapses and videos as well, just like the other one. But one cool thing is that I can zoom in. I'll click on the object, and a little like go square box comes up. So I can click on this and click on it again, and you'll see that it like moves the telescope there, moves the crosshair to it, which is pretty cool. And then once I have it centered, I can go into the middle one. You can see it's not perfectly aligned for some reason. So I can toggle the toggler on the joystick, and then I can move the camera. There we go. No, did too much. Okay, so I can do this. I can center it. There we go. Yeah, I'm glad that we can turn the toggle, the joystick on and off, because it was always annoying. I would always click on it. And here is Mars. So I'll flip the screen. I'm going to take a photo. There's no detail here at all. We can do 4x. I haven't haven't tested the S30 with solar imaging, but the S50 does really well. I'll show you some examples in a minute, but as soon as I get out of this screen. So this is Mars. It looks not like a dot, but it does look orange. Let's see. Oops, I didn't mean to autofocus. So while it's autofocusing, I can show you some of the sun pictures. I don't have any of the sun pictures here. I will find some sun pictures for you. Oh, what is happening? It is focusing. Let's see. I can't find a single solar image. I'll find one and I'll post it on the Discord at some point. Okay, so there it is. And then we can take a video. This is for lucky imaging, but we're not going to get anything, so I'm going to do a 5-second video and stop it. And you can do the same thing in the wide field. The file is not saved. Why didn't it save? It's okay, I don't really care. There we go. Alright, that's the moon. Sorry, that's Mars. And that's about as good as it gets. So I can point this now to M44. Let's see, I'm pointing it to Mars. M44 is here, which is a bright open cluster. And while that's happening, I'm going to find you a solar image. Alright, you finally found one. Took me way too long. This is the Seestar S30. So it does pretty well. And the sun on the S30 is going to look a little bit smaller. But I'm pretty sure it'll do fine. Some of the maybe the finer structures on the sunspots may not be as clear, but it should be good. I need to find time during the daytime to test this out. Whenever I'm free during the daytime, it's cloudy, and when I'm not free, I work. Thank you. And it looks like the Horsehead Nebula won the last poll, so we will see what we can pair that up against. I was talking, but I was muted. I was saying that there's the two binary stars that we saw. It looks really cool. We can see the separation in the non noise reduct image, and I was just curious to see if that will remain. And yeah, it lost like the little line in between that separated them. So if I looked at the previous version, yeah, you can see like a better separation here. And then here it just looks blobby. So that's one of the disadvantages of doing AI noise reduction, where you don't have any control at all. But the colors look amazing. You know, we have red stars, blue stars. Looks super cool. So I'll save this one as well. And this is only a 2-minute exposure. So this is just since this is just a star cluster, I will stay on this for another 4 minutes. We don't need that much, and then I'll go over to M81 and M82 for another 10 minutes before ending the stream. So I just want to take some time to thank everyone for coming to the stream. It's always fun doing these. You are welcome. I always enjoy having you here. Oh, one cool thing about the Beehive cluster and Mars is that in, I think, May 2025, these two are, Mars is going to be part of the Beehive cluster. So I'll bring this up here while that's happening, and then we'll go to the future. Where's the time? Hold on, gotta do it on my other screen. No clue why. You're a pleasant person, and you are really funny. And yeah, I don't know what else. I just enjoy it, man. Thank you for coming. It's 5. Where's Mars? Oh yeah, here it is. So like next year, this is March, May 5th. So I think, oh yeah, it's like May 3rd, 4th. Oh yeah, May 4th. May the 4th be with us. Mars will technically be part of M44, the Beehive cluster. So this one should be a really, I want to take a picture of this. It should be interesting. It'll probably be difficult to do all of this in one shot because Mars will just get blown out. So I'll have to think about how to do it. Mars is Mars is going to be very bright. Magnitude almost 1 versus Beehive clusters 3. So I'll figure it out. But yeah, this is going to be a good night. Oops. Where did you go? Yeah, no, that's definitely a way to do that. Doing a composite. That is definitely something I am going to plan for. So I'll take an image of that area a few days before, so that yeah, they're not overlapping as like a backup plan. But I also want to image it on the night of the 4th because it would be cool to get both of them all in one shot without doing a composite. So plan A and plan B. I have 6 months to prep for it. 6 months, yeah. That's a good suggestion. Thank you. Ooh. These are two of my most favorite galaxies. Bode's Galaxy and Cigar Galaxy. They are really bright, also really fun to look at through a telescope, especially Cigar Galaxy. Through a big telescope, just looks like a stick, a log in space. Yeah, Bode's is great. Yeah, with our 25-inch telescope on our field, we can see so much of it. Not just the core. The dark spots on the Cigar Galaxy also looks amazing. All right, it's 12:18. 12 more minutes, and then I'll end the stream. We do have 17 people watching right now, so if anyone has any questions, let me know. 17, yeah, 17 people. And it looks like the Horsehead Nebula is winning. That'll be our last poll, so I'll let that go until the end of the stream. And the Pleiades, I'm sure some of you have seen the Pleiades on our Discord, but I will quickly flash that here as well. So Pleiades versus the Horsehead Nebula. Yeah, that's actually a Garland Galaxy. It's pretty cool. It's a tiny, tiny galaxy in that area. So if I do this, you can see it's NGC 3077. I talk about that galaxy in my last video where I compare this area of the sky as seen through the S30 and the S50, and the Garland Galaxy is not visible in an individual image of the through the S50. So pretty cool. Yeah, I'm with you, Panda. I'm also pretty biased with about the Pleiades. I look at that all the time. It's just so easy. I think technically it is the brightest Messier object in the night sky. Winter star parties are fun because of the Pleiades, Orion, that whole region, really. But it's just always so cold. Yeah, yeah. The M45 is good for that, especially later in the winter. I'm gonna give this another minute, and then I'll do the AI noise reduction on this too, and then we'll do it again right before I end the stream, just to see the difference. All right, 5 minutes, and let's do noise reduction. Wow, I see so much more of the arms of M81. Interesting. Okay, so before and after. Before, after. Cool. Yeah, I'm sure if we let this go for like another 3 hours, bodes would start looking really good. If you look at the cigar galaxy here, so before and after. All right, so here, like on this side here, you can actually see maybe some of the dust lanes there get smoothed out. Yeah, they do get smoothed out. So yeah, again, another drawback of not being able to control the noise reduction here. It's not that bad, but yeah, like some of the stuff here is getting removed. Yeah, ah, still cool though. Then we have Garland Galaxy down here. I can actually see a shape with the noise reduction. So Garland Galaxy is definitely benefiting from this quite a bit. Does the Seestar stack images in scenic mode? No, those are like one off because you normally take those during the daytime. If you stack them, they'll just get brighter and brighter. So they're just one off images. They don't even stack images in planetary mode. Planetary mode, you can take videos and then stack them yourself later. But otherwise, no, those are just one shot images. The only long exposure is the stargazing. Solar system and scenery is not. And also, it's not a dumb question. It's because I wouldn't have known if I didn't play with this. Alright, I got 10 minutes of M81 here, so I'm going to do one last denoising, and then I'll end the stream. Thanks again to everyone for joining. Hope you all have a good night.